Question 1. Find the value of x in the diagram below. Okay, the x and the 132 are in corresponding positions in these parallel lines. The x is in the top left-hand corner of the top intersection, and the 132 is in the top left-hand corner of the bottom intersection. So corresponding angles are equal in parallel lines, so that leads us to believe that x just equals 132. Question 2. Find the value of d below. The d and the 85 here are in what we would call alternate positions. They're on what I say are alternate sides of that almost vertical line called the transversal, and they're between the two parallel lines, so that's an alternate setup. And alternate angles are equal in parallel lines. You can see they're both acute, slightly less than 90 degrees. So if alternate angles are equal, and the d and the 85 are in those positions, then we can just say d equals 85 degrees. Question 3. Find the value of r in the diagram below. The r and the 125 are in co-interior positions. They're co-interior angles. Co kind of means together, and interior means inside. So I like to think of those two angles are together inside there, or co-interior angles. Now the rule for co-interior angles, they don't look equal to each other. One of them's obtuse and one of them's acute. But the rule for co-interior angles, they're supplementary, or they add up to 180 degrees in parallel lines. So we could make a mini equation out of this. If we added r and 125, that will equal 180. That's what the rule says. So let's just solve that and find out what r must equal. To get r on its own here, we would subtract 125 from both sides. On the left-hand side, that would cancel out, just giving us r. And on the right-hand side, we'd calculate 180 minus 125 is 55 degrees. So they're co-interior angles. Question 4. Find the value of d in the quadrilateral below. The rule for quadrilaterals is that the angle sum of a quadrilateral equals 360 degrees every time. So we know that d and all those other angles given there will add up to 360 degrees. So writing that out, we'll say d, going in a clockwise direction, plus 94 degrees, plus 75 degrees, plus 118 degrees will equal 360 degrees following the rule. So we'll just simplify those three numbers on the left-hand side to make d plus 287 will equal 360 degrees. Then we'll want to get d on its own to solve this little equation. We want to move the positive 287 by subtracting 287 from both sides. On the left-hand side, those two numbers will cancel out nicely, leaving us with d. And we'll just do our calculation of 360 minus 287 and get a final answer of 73 degrees for the value of d. Question 5. Find the value of y below. Alrighty, y is in a position that's called the exterior angle of a triangle. It's sitting on one of the sides extended, but it's outside the triangle, isn't it? And there's a rule that says the exterior angle of a triangle equals the sum of the two opposite interior angles. So y is going to equal 62 plus 70 in this situation. There's a convoluted way, like a long way around of saying this, because we could find the missing angle inside the triangle by using the angle sum of a triangle equals 180 degrees. And then because y is sitting on a straight angle with that number that we would find, we would take that away from 180 degrees again to get our y. So we're kind of taking a bunch of numbers away from 180 and then away from 180 again. And that would end up with this rule that we see below. It's a bit of a shortcut rule, really. So all we have to do to find y is add 62 and 70. So y equals 62 plus 70, and we'll get straight to our value for y of 132. So that's a rule worth remembering because it gives us a bit of a shortcut way of finding an exterior angle of a triangle. Question 6. Which congruency test would be used to prove that the pair of triangles below are congruent? Would it be SSS, SAS, AAS, or RHS? Okay, we can see we have two angles and a side here, and we have to just establish that the sides that we've got are in the same position as each other. So if you notice that we've got the 50 and then the 60, and just above the 60 or just near the 60 we've got the 6 meters. Is that true for both of those triangles? I think it is. We've got the 50, the 60 and then the 6 near it. Okay, so we've got two angles and a side, so the congruency test that would establish that those two triangles are exactly the same size and shape there would be the AAS one. And to state that, to define that, if two angles and one side of one triangle are equal to two angles and one side of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. That's like the rule or the definition for that. That's the test for congruency that we're following. Question 7. If three sides of one triangle are proportional to three sides of another triangle, the triangles are similar. So that statement in red there, the statement above describes which of the tests for similar triangles. Is it talking about SSS, SAS, AAA, or RHS? So it's talking about three sides of one triangle proportional to three sides of another triangle. So it's only mentioning sides there. So it's actually the SSS test for similar triangles. Question 8. Find the value of x in the congruent triangles below. Alrighty, so we're told in the question that these two triangles are congruent, so we can trust that. And we have an 8 and 9.2 in both of the triangles, and there's a 12 in the first triangle, kind of where the x position is. So we're told that in congruent triangles, which we're told these two are, we have matching sides equal, and matching angles are equal. So I think you could say there that we've got an 8 in both triangles, we've got a 9.2 in both triangles, and we've got a 12 in one of them where the x position is. So I think we'd use that rule for congruent triangles matching sides are equal to say that x is going to equal 12. Question 9. Find the angle sum of a pentagon, or a five-sided shape. Two ways to do this. We're going to either follow this one. The interior angle sum of a polygon has a formula where the angle sum is 180 degrees times the number of sides minus 2. I'll show you how that works. Or we've got a different method as well, which is a shortcut method of chopping up the shape into a number of triangles, then multiplying 180 by the number of triangles that we chop it up into to find the angle sum that way. I'll show you how that works as well. So with a pentagon we have 5 sides, and that S in the formula there is where we put the number of sides. So straight under that formula we could just insert a 5 where the S is. We'd then do 5 minus 2 in brackets first and get 3. So we get 3 lots of 180 for the angle sum of this polygon. So that's following the formula there. We take the number of sides, we take 2 away from that, and then we multiply that result by 180. So we've got an angle sum for a pentagon of 540 degrees. That's that first method using the formula. Let's have a look at the shortcut method now of chopping up the shape into triangles. And then we're going to multiply 180 by the number of triangles that we've chopped it up into. So if we carefully chop up this pentagon so that the red dotted lines are going from that one vertex on the left hand side there, that's the way to chop it up, to go from a single vertex and go to the other vertexes to create some triangles there. You can see that we're creating 3 triangles in that method. So then what we're going to be doing is do 3 lots of 180, and that gives us 540 in that shortcut way. So whether you use the formula or the shortcut chop up method, the shortcut chop up method isn't a lot quicker than the formula anyway, but if you forget the formula, at least you've got another method there. So the angle sum of a pentagon, a 5-sided shape, is 540 degrees. Question 10. Find the size of each angle of a regular pentagon. Okay, a regular pentagon indicates that each side is the same length as each other. So angle size in regular pentagons, and this formula only works for polygons that have the same size sides each time. To find the size of each interior angle in any regular polygon, we do angle sum divided by the number of sides, because the number of sides is going to match the number of angles anyway. So we've got the angle sum divided by the number of sides to find the size of each angle. In this case, we found that we can find that the angle sum of a pentagon is 540 degrees, and the number of sides in a pentagon, a regular pentagon, is 5. So our angle size, the size of each angle, is 108 degrees by following that process. Now that only works for regular pentagons or regular polygons, polygons where all the sides are the same length as each other. So each angle is 108 degrees in that one.